You? Good boy. Well, hello. Here we are back again at Animal Training Development Center, and I'm Mike Rowland. And today we have with us Dexter. And Dexter is a 6-month-old Brittany Spaniel who has a high supportive dogality type. And this high supportive dogality type is one of the favorites to train for any trainer because they do have that eager to please quality that makes them good listeners. And so we've been enjoying that about him, and we've been having a great time of training. We've been on a lot of field trips to different places. I've put him on long line so that he can be Brittany. He has certainly, he certainly has a good deal of hunting instinct, and that can be displayed in him, whether he's hunting butterflies or grasshoppers or birds or whatever it is that he sees and smells out there. So that is something that he has a very strong instinct for. Okay, so if you are a hunter and you would like to have him trained for that type of work, I think he would be a top-rate companion for that type of activity. Now, he doesn't have to just do that type of thing in order to be satisfied. I do think we can use that nose for other things as well. So scent detection work is something that is fun to do. One of our other trainers, Kamari, has done a great deal of that with her own dog. And so it's one of those things that we start off with something like cloves that have a very pungent odor, and we can get the dog finding that and having fun doing so. And then we could build on that to different items down the road. If you'd like to have your dog find your child, for example, games of hide and seek and that sort of thing can turn into search and rescue type of applications. So a dog with a good nose and a good supportive dogality type is always a type of dog that is going to be really exceptionally gifted at some sort of thing that is fun to do for both the dog and the handler. So in his case, I could see him becoming a therapy dog as well. So I think he could be multi-gifted in that type of department. So he's got a super supportive quality to him. Right now he's 6 months old, and he's naturally a little excitable, and so we got to rein that in a little bit. But he loves people, he loves attention, he loves being talked to and all that good stuff. So a therapy dog application for a supportive dog is another one of those type of activities that might be enjoyable for both the owner and the dog. So I hope that you'll pick something that you can both do, because he really is a lot of fun to work with. In terms of obedience, we've been working on the heel and the sit and general manners. The first rule that we work with every dog is this simple concept that they should never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. And we kind of call this our unspoken command, because we really shouldn't have to say anything. If we're working with a dog that is, learning to do life with us, it's a given that when we walk with it, we don't want to be pulled, and we don't want to have to pull it in order to get where we're going. So if I stop, he should stop before he gets to the end of the leash, just like he did. Now, he's welcome to go ahead and continue sniffing. This isn't like the heel command that is a lot more strict and doesn't allow for sniffing. He's welcome to sniff. He's welcome to do just about anything he wants to do other than get to the end of the leash. So as I began to wander around with him, right there, I kind of caught him because he was still on a scent there, and I was moving past. He has to, give in to the idea that even if he's into something kind of exciting, if I'm moving out of the range of the leash and he starts to feel that leash coming up, it's his job to put some slack back in it. And this is a subtle but powerful way for us to begin to demonstrate to the dog, a nice natural leadership pecking order. So we're guides for our dogs, at least those of us who don't need guide dogs, right? So if you're not blind, it's really our job to help guide them through this world. And so what I'd like is the dog to be aware enough of what I'm doing, because I'm doing what I need to do. I'm watching traffic, I'm making sure there's no dangers. I'm aware of the environment. Is it about the rain? Are we going to have too hot of weather? Is there going to be hot sidewalks or asphalt that we may have to cross? So I'm always kind of plotting our course as I'm going through life, and you do too if you have a dog, or at least you're trying to, right? So what we're looking to do is be that guide to our dog. So again, right here, I happen to go the opposite direction he was going, and as he gets better and better at this, I won't have to give that little tug. Normally when we have to give a tug, we're going to say something verbally. As you'll see with the heel command and every other command that we give, I want the dog knowing that I'm giving that tug because they're not doing a specific command. But in this case, it's such a general application, to think that, as many times I'm going to put a leash on a dog and go for a walk, I just shouldn't have to keep repeating, a command word with it. So it's kind of the unspoken command, and they can pick up on this. There you go. And start to comply. And as they get good on a 6-foot leash, we go to an 8-foot type of line, or maybe even a 10-foot line, and on until we can enjoy walks on long lines, maybe 25, 30 feet sort of thing. Sit. Good. Good boy. Okay, very nice. So there's a demonstration how we've been training through trains, and that's one of our favorite sayings around here, is that Animal Training Development Center, we can promise you that your dog will train through trains. And indeed, that's what we've done there. So the idea is the train is a pretty good sized distraction out here, physically and audibly, as you can hear. And it's one of those that literally can shake the windows in the building a little bit from time to time. And it's good to help a dog learn to stay, stable and in position for that, sit command or down command or what have you, because as they build up their abilities to stay in command under heavy distractions, then regular life gets easier and easier for them. So we always say distractions are to dog training as weights are to weightlifting. And if you're super strong, you can lift a lot of weight. And if you're, super weak, you can't. And so a dog that's super well trained can work through a lot of distractions and still do their words. A dog that isn't super well trained, might be able to sit for a treat in the living room, but isn't likely to be able to go out in the waiting room at a veterinarian office and hold commands at all. So we're always trying to build our dog's mental strength, and that's one of many ways that we start to build it, is through the distraction of trains. The other thing that we like to start to work on right away are toys. And so I love it when a dog loves toys. And we use toys in play, and we use toys in training, and a lot of times we use them at the same time that way. So playing can be training, and it's always kind of like that for me. Is I want my dogs to be motivated to want to work, and it's just like you want somebody motivated for their pay. You want your dog motivated for their rewards. And it doesn't have to be treats. Some dogs aren't into treats that much. It could be toys, it could be verbal praise, it could be physical praise. There are just a lot of different ways that dogs enjoy the rewards. So we also can make this a distraction. So the idea is, if he's in the sit command and I bounce this ball, he shouldn't try to break the command to get it. But if I bounce the ball and give the release word, in his case, okay, then he is allowed to get it. So you'll see right here, okay, good boy, sit. This in action. So as I go to bounce this ball, and I'm going to tuck this in a pocket. As I go to bounce this ball, he should hold that sit. Now, we don't say the stay command here. Now, people can and do, but I learned in Schützen sport years ago when I competed that they take points off for people that say stay after a command like sit. And their thought being that if you say sit and then you say stay, your dog's still just sitting, so why do you say two words? And I think that makes sense to me. So, no, sit, good boy. He should hold, no sit. No, sit. Good. Good boy. Good. Good boy. Okay. Good job. Nice. So good. It's a good, challenge for the high level distraction to work through, and then it's a good reward at the end of it all. You could do the same thing with treats. Start bouncing treats, making sure that they hold, the command through the treat, and then as that's going smoothly, you can give a release word, and then they can, gobble up all those treats. Fun and high level distraction at the same time. You've got to get a little bit of good coordination with this. I mean, it's taken me some time over the years to get pretty good at bouncing balls and making good, effective, quick corrections, because ideally what we're looking for is before the dog even stands all the way up, we're quick on the draw to get them back into position. And all I'm doing is flipping the leash up and slightly behind his head, getting his head up and his butt down, and that sort of thing. So that worked out pretty well for me that time. And I think that if you continue practicing this type of thing at home, after he comes back, this young 6-month-old dog is going to grow into a mature, super wonderfully trained and gifted adult dog. So as always, we thank you for your trust in us, and we're enjoying Dexter very much. So I even had to check out the show. I've heard of the show Dexter for years, but I had never really watched it. And so I don't know if that's how he got his name, but I've always thought about that show, and actually watched a webisode. I actually watched an episode of Dexter, which I would only recommend for very mature audiences. Anyways, so good dog, Dexter. Good dog, Dexter. Fun working with you. As always, we wish you guys happy training as well. Okay. Good. Well, hello, welcome back to Animal Train Development Center. Today we have Dexter back with us, and Dexter is here for our board and train program, and today is day 7 of his 10-day program, and we're working and introducing to him this idea of what we're calling bed. So oftentimes this is called a different thing. I sometimes use the word place, but we like to use the words the owners like to use, and in this case, we're using the word bed. So the only rule with the word bed is that he has to stay on that object that he's commanded. So when I say bed and I place him onto this cot, he can do whatever he wants while he's on this cot. He just can't get off of this cot. So if he chose right now to go ahead and lay down, he's more than welcome to. I even gave him a little toy there to chew on if he has so a desire. So, I really want him to get comfortable on this to where he, considers it like his home away from home, and it becomes a very comforting thing for him to have as you maybe travel with him in the future. So you can convert it down to other objects. I like to use a raised portion of an item like this in the initial stages, because it makes it really clear to the dog as they start to step off that they are making a transition, whereas a yoga mat that may be more convenient to travel with, and you can roll up and stuff in a suitcase. It's not as easy for the dog to notice as they begin to move off of it, but they can be taught to a yoga mat. I just think it's easier to help them transition. Oops, no, bed. There we go. Good boy. So all we're doing as he breaks, we're using a little pressure with the leash as we pull him toward it, just saying the word no, letting him know that he did something that he wasn't supposed to. And then as he gets back on it, we're repeating the word that we're using for this thing, which is bed, and then we're praising him for being back on it. It's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We call that our formula for success, and over time, it just starts to weigh like a scale to the extent that he understands very much so what this all means. Right now, he's just beginning to get the concept, and so he's naturally going to make more mistakes. And as he gets good at holding with me just talking and walking around him, then we'll start to introduce either other ideas as to ways that might distract him and cause him to try to get off of there. So for example, you know, I need this to work even when a lot of stuff goes on. I've got this little chain here that I'm just going to drop. Good boy. And I'm praising him for holding his bed position there. Good job. And if that goes well, then maybe we'll just walk through here with a bouncing ball. Let's see what happens with that. What a good boy. Good dog. Nice. And then finally, let's try a little bit of dropping treats. Whoops. No bed. No bed. Good boy. So this one, I think when I grabbed this big box of treats here, he got more distracted. So every dog has what we call their kryptonite. You know, they could be super well trained, do super good with all their obedience commands, but it seems like, you know, every dog has something that really gets him going. I know that he loves to smell the ground and stuff, so maybe the scent of this treat is going to really be the thing that causes him to be challenged. But let's see what happens as I drop it. Good boy. Good. Okay. Very nice. Wow. Very proud of him. What a great job he did there. You know, just beginning to learn this yesterday and already taking in this so well. And I just can't say enough about, you know, Dexter and his trainability. You know, like I said earlier, he definitely has that high supportive dogality type that just makes him really want to please you. So he's always eager to make sure that you're happy. You know, he does have some kryptonite challenges. The biggest one at the end of his face called his nose, because he's got those pure, you know, hunting qualities that any hunter would love to have. And so when he gets out in the grass, especially as he gets around wherever, maybe squirrels or rabbits or ducks or birds or cats or dogs, it doesn't matter. He wants to, you know, he wants to be really into that, and that's okay. I mean, that's kind of cool, really. We can even use that to our advantage as we continue training if we want to, you know, help him become a scent detection type of dog of some sort, and put that gift to use. So in the meantime, you know, coming when called off leash, that's going to be probably your biggest distraction. You know, if you're calling him and he's already on the scent of something, and you know, I see a lot of dogs, they almost seem like they go deaf, you know, when they're talked to, when they're really immersed into that scent. So just be prepared. He's a very young dog still, just barely 6 months old, and he doesn't have a lot of life experience. Even though he does so well with his obedience, you know, we're really sticking to a lot of leash work right now, which will, you know, really continue on for another year or so before I would really start to trust and explore some off-leash, you know, types of things. You just have to be really careful because there's so many things that he just doesn't know anything about yet because he's so young. For example, snow, right? He's never seen snow, I don't think. So it's going to be difficult for him to, you know, take that in the first season. And so we want to make sure that we're really giving him some good you know, conditioning, some good experiences with us coaching him right along. And there's nothing better than a 6-foot leash to do that with. So the leash that I have him on now, you know, he's got enough room like there. He could go out and explore a little bit, but I'm close enough that I can be quick to coach, you know, whatever scenario may come our way. And so really good job there. Good. While I got him out, let's see, were you saving that? Did you find another one? Sit. I do want to show you the other thing that he's just recently been getting a lot of training on. Heel. Very nice. So that's a nice job with the heel, but we've been doing that for quite a while now. It's this new down, down. So here, when we're teaching him, just going to go ahead and step gently. And as he goes, down. We just throw that word in there as he's on his way to go anyway, because that's going to help him, with the understanding. So the down is symbolically, very meaningful in the wolf world, and all that meaning has transferred right on down to our domesticated dogs. And so when we tell a dog to down, they feel a lot of emotional pressure, because in the wild, the down is symbolically like a salute in the military. And so these wolves that are rolling over for the upper pack leaders are basically giving that salute. And as we give this down command, no, down, good. As we give this down command, they take on that emotional pressure, feeling like a superior officer is coming up and salute me, soldier. That kind of authority and that kind of presence, makes them feel a little bit overwhelmed. And so he was slow to lay down, not because he was being stubborn about it, but he just felt that pressure. So this is going to help him learn to kind of deal with a little pressure. I mean, it just comes with life. I'm not mad at you. You just got to lay down sometimes, because he could fall asleep there and 20 minutes later wake up still in the down position. But you can't ask a dog to hold a sit for 20 straight minutes. So if I come across a friend on a walk or something like that, and I want to stand there and have a little bit of a conversation, if I can put my dog in the down command, he can ease into it and relax. I can stand there for quite a while and he'll be completely comfortable and ready to heel when we're finished. So let's go ahead and heel. Good boy. Leading with that inside foot. That is my right foot in this case, the leg closest to the dog. You saw he got right up with me. Very nice. He's supposed to, no, sit. Supposed to sit there. Now he understands that. That's why I just said no sit, as if I'd already told him, because at the end of the heel there should be an automatic sit. Now we're going to try down. Down. No. Down. There you go. Good. By the way, if I lead with my outside foot, my left foot, from whatever position he's in, we're teaching him that he should stay put in the position he's in. Now, some people like to say the word stay here or wait, and you can do that, and that might even make it even clearer to him. But I like him to use his mind as much as his ears, or his eyes as much as his ears when it comes to staying focused. So if he's watching me and listening, a lot better chance he's going to do what I ask. So if I'm leading with my outside foot, he knows that means to stay put in whatever command he is, even if I don't say anything. If I lead with my inside foot, good boy, he knows that that means to bounce into that heel position, and then hopefully, no, sit. He was just about to do it, and a truck went by out the window, and he got distracted. So that automatic sit, it takes time to get good with, like all the commands. He was really good at that earlier too. And it's just ongoing training that you're going to continue to do for some time after you get him back. But these are the techniques that we use, and he's doing really well with them. Bed. Good boy. Very nice. And having a great time as well. So we're going to show some video of him out on a field trip and let you see that nose in action. You may notice that we do have him fitted with a little remote collar there. I find that he's really very responsive to this style of training, and I think it's going to be a great help for you with off-leash control down the road. And we'll talk to you more about that when we get you back for your individual lesson with him. Yeah, he's doing super. A lot of fun to train. Great around the house. Friendly to everybody. Does have a little separation anxiety. We'll talk more about that. Very common at this age. I mean, it's like a teenager, and I call it pupperty instead of puberty, but they often have some anxiety, and it's really coming along nicely. I think that he's learning to be more patient and less stressed when it's not his turn yet and stuff like that. So really making some great progress, and excited to continue to show you more as we still have a couple of good days left of training to do. So as always, thanks for watching and happy training. Good boy. Good. Okay. Good boy. All right, well, we're starting our last day of our board and train program with Dexter here, and we're going to allow for him to really enjoy himself on a field trip. And I thought no better field trip for Dexter than a field trip that includes a lot of great smells. We know that he's a big fan of all kinds of creatures, great and small, mostly small. Out here he really loves the grasshoppers and the little birds. Heel. No, heel. No, heel. Good. And he's doing pretty well just on this buckle collar. If you find that you're making a lot of corrections and not getting any results, then we may need to recommend a different style training collar for him. But this buckle collar seems to be working pretty good, just getting his attention as we often have to with the young dogs. So you just got to expect, no, heel, especially when there's a lot of distractions, sit, that you're going to be reminding dogs at this stage a lot as to what they're supposed to do. Good boy. Okay. Now we're going to put him into release mode. And the only rule here, of course, is that he can do whatever he wants so long as he doesn't get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. I'm going to do a recall here. Dexter, come. Good boy. Come here. Sit. Dexter, come. Good boy. Make sure he sits when he gets to you. Dexter, sit. Good boy. Okay. And now we can go back to long line. There's our grasshoppers. We're trying to condition him that when you hear the word come, no matter what you're doing, hurry up and get to us. Sit. And then typically we're going to go ahead and reward you and let you go right back, kind of to what you were doing. So we're trying to convince him, it's in his best interest to hurry up, get to us so that he can get back again and to his fun tracking and hunting grasshoppers this morning. So great opportunities to start to help him with that passion that he has. And we talked about that earlier. This nose thing that he has going on is pretty special and pretty sought after, by hunters and scent trainers of all types, whether it be, drug detection or seizure alert or just search and rescue type applications. That nose is going to, really be an asset of his for his whole life, but it's also going to be a big distraction for him for his whole life too, in the sense that that's the one thing that can compete with our commands. All right, so let's try this again. Oh, I think he caught one. Dexter, come. Good boy. Come on. No, come. Good. Come on. Good. Sit. No. Come here. Sit. Good boy. Okay. So all I'm doing is conditioning him now gently with this remote collar for when he gets off track on the way back to us. So we're using just a very light level that's getting his attention, and as you can see, he's already recovered from that and is back to his hunt. And I'm just trying to work out a deal with him. It's like, let's enjoy hunting together, whether it be these grasshoppers on a daily walk. Fine with me. I don't hunt really otherwise, but when I call you, let's get over here, let's get back, sit, and then we'll go right back to having fun again. Right, Dexter? Good boy. Dexter, come. Good boy, come on. Good, there you go. Come on. I'm backing up to encourage him. So backing away. Good, sit. Excellent. Okay. Backing away from them as you call them draws them like a magnet. It really does. So you could just stand there and hope that they come all the way to you. And as they get better trained, they will. But in this early phase, if you simply backpedal as you're calling them to you, it just really helps draw him in. Good. You may have noticed on that last recall, I only had to use the vibration button one time. So this has like a vibration feature. It just feels like the old days when they gave you that device to let you know when your table was ready, sort of thing. And yeah, that's all I needed to get his focus back on me when he start to wander off track. So the track, of course, should be a straight line from you to him, and when they start to wander off that line, then we want to make some corrections if we have to, just to convince him that, you know, coming when called is really the best thing to do. Dexter, come. Good boy. Good. Come here. Come. Good. Sit. Sit. Good job. Never finish until he sits. I promise if we don't teach him to come and sit, okay, they'll learn to come and go all at one time, and that's not going to be your favorite kind of training. So we want the dog to come and sit, and that way if we do have to get a hold of them and put them back on leash, or, you know, whatever the other scenario, you have that option. You know, if a dog doesn't learn to come and sit, I've seen so many times where they'll get close, and then all of a sudden it's a game, you know, for them, for you to try to get them. So make sure he comes and sits, give him a little praise for that, and then send him right back on his way, having a good time being a dog. Good boy. What a beautiful day we have. Brittany Spaniel sniffing for game in the fall colors. Not a bad deal. Good boy. Come on, Dexter. Come on. Good boy. When I say come on, that doesn't mean come. I guess that might sound like I'm calling him, and maybe I could pick a better phrase. But for me, whenever I say come on, it just kind of means let's move on without coming and sitting. So use whatever word you want. You know, some people say, you know, this way, or hurry up. I've always said come on, and my dogs figure out over time the difference really well. So it just works for me, and I don't remember what we were supposed to say. If anything, I don't think we picked that one out for Dexter. So just some word, phrase, whatever, you know, when they're, you know, just really immersed in some scent, and you want to just keep moving. You should have the prerogative, of course, as the leader of the pack here, you know, start moving and stop moving whenever you want. So a lot of times I'll indulge a dog and I see them sniffing something, I'll even stop and, you know, let them take some real time and enjoy that. But if I'm pretty convinced it's, you know, some sort of animal stool or something else nasty that they're looking for, I'll just usually say, come on, let's get out of here. Or maybe I'm just in a hurry to get going, I gotta go. So let's come on, let's keep this train moving. Good boy, Dexter. Long lines are great. This one's longer than you need. I'm working on a 48-foot line here, and I'd say at this stage, you know, a 15-foot line would be, you know, plenty, and that's really kind of what he's at right there. You know, that way it gives him some quality alone time, and at the same time it's helping him build a little self-confidence and learning to navigate his world, all the while keeping us in the background, ready to call him at a moment's notice. Good boy. Almost a point there, wasn't it? And now let's try this. Dexter, come. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Good boy. Sit. Oh, what a good job, bud. So happy with that. Well done. Okay. You can, when you feel safe, you know, to drop the line, you can just drop it, let him drag it. And I like doing that. Of course, if somebody starts coming near you or what have you, just reach down, pick it up, and you could even, you know, choke up on it like a regular leash and, go into a heel command and stuff. But, working with long lines is, a little bit challenging in the beginning for people. They're always getting tangled and whatever, but it's a great method of training that I highly recommend you take the time to get comfortable with. You can see how much, Dexter's enjoying it, and I just really enjoy it too. That freedom that you get watching a dog work, it's just a beautiful thing. And knowing that they're having a lot of fun doing it, it just makes you happy. And so if at the same time I can get some really quality training in, what's not to like? A couple of good recalls throughout the walk, maybe a little bit of heel command, maybe a sit, maybe some down. You're the artist of your masterpiece here, and you can do whatever you like, right? Good boy. Dexter, come on, good, come on. That's it, sit. Superb, what a good job. Okay, good boy. I have not had to give so much as a nick of a reminder on those last three, so really pleased with this. We got the sense as his biggest distraction here today. That obviously can even go up from there if somebody were out this morning, walking their dog and got near. You just have to, as a handler of a dog, just be able to take in whatever environment you're in and determine, is this challenging but doable for us to work through? Is my dog, just going to be too distracted by this thing? If so, let's go a different direction, or maybe let's just get off the trail and let that thing go by and then, get back out there. But we're always looking for that challenging but doable environment for a dog to train in, which is what we call the art of dog training. And only the person, out there with the dog day to day can do this art. We can describe it. We can show you kind of the strokes, if you will, like the brush strokes and, different little tips. But ultimately, the person spending those time with the guy is going to get the chance to sign the masterpiece when it's done, and take credit for how it turns out. And I have confidence you guys are going to do great with it. We do want to invite you to participate in some drop-in classes. That's one of those things that I think would really benefit him from here. If you are interested, we can give you a punch card of 5 of these drop-in class dates. We have one weeknight and one weekend time for drop-in. Currently, it's Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. or Saturday mornings at 10:30 a.m. And what happens during drop-in class is you don't have to let us know you're coming. You don't have to let us know if you're not. You can either drop in or choose not to. And we just practice with all the dogs that come that day on all these things. So all the dogs that will arrive are in one of our programs and ready for that level of training. And we just all get together and I coach through the class and give you guys some direction. And everybody that comes is always glad that they did, and especially the dogs. Right, Dexter? So anyway, just a chance for you to come practice around higher levels of distraction with other people and dogs, which would be good for Dexter, especially at his young age. He gets pretty excited when he sees other dogs that he hasn't met, especially, and other people to some degree too. But he really is a big fan of playing. And so when he sees another dog, he gets, like a puppy almost still with his excitement level. Very normal. Same time, just something that you want to be aware of and prepare for, for the next year as he's still going to be growing. Here's an area I try to keep them out of. Come on, there we go. It's just a highly, marked area. that I'm not always sure is good for dogs to be sniffing around in. So we try to keep them moving through there and let them get back to a grasshopper or something. Come on, Dexter. Come on. Good boy. That time he didn't come on when I said come on. So all I did was hit that vibration button. And he jumped up and just came running forward. Perfect. You know, it wasn't uncomfortable for him, but it got his attention. That's all I ask of a tool. I don't want it to be, you know, super uncomfortable, but I want it to get their attention back on me so we can get back to what we're doing, right? Good boy, Dexter. Now we're getting closer to the parking lot, so I'm just going to go ahead and step on the line. Good boy. Good boy, and we're going to heel out the remainder of this. Heel. No, heel. No. Heel. So heel's a lot more strict command. This is where we're crossing dangerous area or maybe high distraction zone. A lot better to use your heel command than not there. Good. No, heel. Bug hunter. Good boy. Good. Sit. Nice. Hold that thought. Let's get this open. Good. Hup. Good job. Good job. Did you like your field trip? I had fun too. Well done, Dexter. Well done, buddy.